And when his brothers see him coming, here's what they say. Listen to what they say. What are you doing around here anyway? What about, here it is. What about those few sheep you're supposed to be taking care of? You know what I've learned? Is that when you're getting ready to walk into your season of illumination, the first battle you're going to have to deal with is the one from the people who are going to try to convince you that you ain't nobody. So here it is. Now, come on, y'all. I'm trying to be very diplomatic and very middle class and very doctoral, but I got to throw some ebonics in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I know we got a whole lot of guests today, and I want you to know I have an earned doctorate degree, so I can be quite efficiently articulate when I desire. But articulation just won't work for the zits and laben of the text today. It just won't allow. This ain't no middle class text. This is a ghetto fabulous text. This ain't no time to be doctoral. This is a time to be ghetto fabulous. Isn't it amazing to me that the same Negroes that's scared to fight are the main ones that's talking about what you can't do? You ain't showed us what you can do. You the one that's scared. Oh, come on, y'all, talk to me. You ought to look at somebody and tell them, ain't it amazing how people that are punking out on life want you to punk out on life too? The people that ain't trying to dream, go after nothing, are always the ones that are trying to keep you from going after something. David ain't messed with nobody, just came out there and said, well, I'll fight him. It ain't costing nobody else. If David goes out there and gets his tail whipped, it don't cost nobody else nothing. It ain't changed nobody else's house. It ain't changed nobody else's job. It's just David and the Philistine. And instead of them encouraging him, they come around to go back to the little sheep. What they don't know is he got more experience dealing with the little sheep than they have on the battlefield. Oh my God, you better come get me. I feel something trying to rise up. I dare you to look at somebody and point at them and tell them, you ain't gonna stop me. You ought to find like 7 people and tell them, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how you talk about me. I don't care what you say about me, because I am going to win the battle with all these people who want to keep telling me what I cannot do, who I cannot be, what I cannot accomplish, that I've been to jail, so I can't do that, so my mama won't there, so I can't do this, my daddy won't with me, so I can't be nothing. You need to shut that foolishness down. I dare you to turn around and help yourself right now and just make an announcement. I feel like I need to give somebody the microphone and let you come on up in here and declare it to all these people. All y'all that's hating, I don't care what you think. All of y'all that's betting against me, I don't care what you think, because no people are going to be able to stop me from going after what God has. Oh my God. Can you just look at somebody and give them a shake and tell them, get delivered from people. Stop worrying about what people say about you. Stop worrying about what people think about you. Stop worrying about who's with you and who's not with you. The only people that are supposed to be with you are the ones that God has ordained to be with you. I don't want anybody who's not supposed to be with me to be with me. I only want the people that can help me go somewhere. The people that can encourage me. The people that can push me. The people that can speak truth to me. I don't need anybody around me that's negative on Monday. They negative on Tuesday. They negative on Wednesday. I get so sick of all these negative people. Carry your negative tail back home. I need somebody around me that can declare with God all things are possible. I need somebody around me that will declare greater is God that's in you than he that is in the world. I need somebody around me that can push me to my destiny. So I want to suggest to you that many of us will never get to Goliath because we so busy now. I ain't got time. But some of us, the biggest battle with people is not your enemies. It's your family. Shout if you can right there. I know that's kind of hard to shout on, but you ought to shout if you can. These are not boys that are on the other side. This is David's brothers. If anybody ought to be pushing him, it ought to be his brothers, because if he wins the battle, they win the battle. If he gets a promotion, they get a promotion. This is his family. Oh, give you a shout cue on part 1A. Look at your neighbor and tell him, I don't need anybody but God. Now, I know, I'm not saying you don't need somebody to help you get up. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you got to understand that there are two kinds of people assigned to you. Those who are assigned to take you somewhere, and those who are assigned to distract you. Here it is, David comes out there on a humbug. He ain't even said yet he's gonna fight. All David does is ask, hey, does anybody know what the person gets who fights him? Okay, over your head. OMG, y'all. David ain't even said he gonna fight yet. All David is saying is that the person? Yeah, that's Goliath. Well, what has the king promised to the man that will beat him? Now you got to understand, you know what? They got mad because David was asking questions. David is like, well, what do you get for beating him? Because here it is. He doesn't ask if he can beat him. He says, oh, beating him ain't no issue. I'm just trying to see, is it going to be worth my time? It's like David is saying, I know I can whip him, but I don't just go around whipping just for the sake of whipping. What do you get for beating him? Because if it ain't something that I'm really trying to go after, ain't no need for me to beat him. I got enough stuff to whip up on. Oh, you missed it. You ought to look at somebody and tell them, I don't just fight to be fighting. I fight for the bounty. I don't just go out to pick a fight. I go out and pick fights that are only worth my time. You missed it, but I'm going to stay there. You ought to look at somebody and tell them, you fighting for stuff that ain't worth your time. Why you fighting for a no good man? You talking about going up in the club, shutting the club down for a man that ain't no good. You ought to look at somebody and tell them some stuff just ain't worth fighting for. Why you fighting for a hoochie mama? Don't lose no sleep over no hoochie mama. That don't make sense. I fight for queens. I don't fight for no hoochie. I fight for ladies. I fight for queens. I fight for those that are trying to go somewhere. I'm too valuable to waste my time fighting for something that's not worth fighting for. Some of us are fighting for stuff that ain't worth fighting for. Why are you fighting for something that's beneath you? You fighting for a relationship that you should have been out of long ago. You still trying to hold on to something that when people see y'all together, they wonder if you were high when you met him because he's not even worth your time. And you trying to fight, oh, I feel something rising up. You ought to look at somebody and tell them, I don't fight for everything, but if you give me something that's worth fighting for, you might not want to mess with me. So